It's becoming a familiar sight along Dublin's Grand Canal. Less than 24 hours after dozens of tents were removed, almost 30 more were pitched last night. The Taoiseach Simon Harris was asked about the development during a visit to Cork this morning.
So I am satisfied that there will be more accommodation solutions coming on stream. I think we have to be honest about a lot of that may look like tents with sanitation on public sites, but a more safe environment from both a public health point of view and from a legal point of view.
Barriers were erected on either side of the canal yesterday to prevent tents from being pitched there again, but more have appeared further up the canal.
These are mostly people who arrived after that clearing of tents was finished, or they arrived the night before but hadn't received their blue cards yet, which is the refugee cards, and were waiting around all day to see if they would be offered accommodation and weren't. And then there's some people who've been here for longer but were sleeping rough in other parts of the city.
There was calls for 6 state-run reception centres where people can be processed with dignity, with multi-agency wraparound supports. The fact that they still haven't emerged yet is a very clear indictment of this government.
Those living and working in the area have also raised their own concerns.
I do feel sorry for these displaced people, but the government has to come up with a solution. You can't have people camping out in residential areas with no facilities.
Even to house our own people, there's barely any development plans. And these people come into this country and they expect something better than what we're giving them.
If it's so-called one of the richest countries in Europe and we can't provide basic services, and yet there's office blocks in the area that are lying dormant and empty.
More than 1,800 people seeking asylum here are still without state-provided accommodation, and more are expected to arrive in the coming days. More barriers have been erected this evening further along the Grand Canal to prevent more tents from being set up here. Eleanor Byrnehill, RTE News on the Grand Canal in Dublin.